So I have spent over 100 hours on LinkedIn Sales Navigator, and in this video I'm going to show you the exact strategies I've used to book hundreds of thousands of qualified sales calls in the last 3 years. And Sales Navigator is the most powerful B2B outbound prospecting tool on the market, but most people don't know how to use it to its full capacities, right? But if you do master it, it is an absolute gold mine for finding qualified leads and booking calls. And I have booked a ton of calls for myself or two of my agencies. And one is clientacquisition.in, where we help B2B SaaS businesses, IT companies with outbound, and Impactpreneur, where I help like founders and HNIs build their personal brand. And I'm booking like average 15 to 30 qualified calls per month for my clients as well. And I'm going to show you a step-by-step guide on how to use every single important filter, show you how to laser in on your ICP using advanced keyword searches and some hidden techniques that you can like copy and apply to your needs to generate the most qualified leads for your business, right? And stick around to the end, where I'll also show you exactly how to extract your entire sales navigator list and send them personalized messages and voice notes without lifting a finger using AI. Let's just get right into it, right? So there's two groups of filters on LinkedIn: lead filters for individual accounts and then account filters for company accounts, right? And we're going to talk about both and then how you can like combine them to build the best list, right? Starting with the lead filter, I have all of these different filters so I can hone in on my ICP. I'm going to show you every single one. For example, I want to reach out to US based real estate company owners, so we're just going to walk through these filters one by one, right? Within the lead filter, we have these sub filter groups. We're going to start with the company filter and go from there. If you want to target different people at the same company, you can use the current company filter and just select the company you want. I want to reach out to people at lots of different companies today, so I'm going to leave this blank. The company headcount is really important. It is where you can like determine the size of the company. I want small businesses, so I'm going to select 1 to 10, but you can select multiple here. Bear in mind, if the company is smaller, you can more easily reach out to the decision makers, and if the company is bigger, you are like more likely to have to go through department heads, etc. Fast, right? The past company can be really valuable because you can use this to find companies you previously worked with. They probably already trust you, so the outreach is a lot more, right? Moving on to the role filter, these just determine the individual's current position. I can filter by function, which just means department, current job title, and seniority level. These are crucial again to ensure you are targeting the relevant decision maker, right? In this case, I want to target real estate agents, so they are actively involved in the day to day. But I also want them to be the owner of their company, right? So I can go with these two. The years in current company and current position can be really useful indicators. For example, if someone's just joined the company, they may be more receptive to implementing new technology because they want to make an immediate impact on the company, right? The geography is also super important. This is just where the lead is based. You can filter by region, state, city, or if you want to get even more targeted, you can actually use the postcode radius filter as well. This is very handy if you reach out to local businesses or if you have a limited area that you can operate in, such as home service providers, right? Of course, then I can also add in my industry. Let's go with real estate, and I can also exclude industries if I want, such as investors. If you reach out based on continent instead of country, the language could be useful, such as English speaking Europeans, right? These aren't going to be useful right now, so we're just going to skip this. This bio-oriented filter can be useful for finding warm leads. Anyone that is following your company probably already has a degree of interest, and same goes for those who have viewed your profile as well, right? These are going to decrease the list size a lot, but they are a great place to start. Now, the impact this next filter has is absolutely huge. You can leverage your fast level connection to reach out to people you have already connected to, but the real opportunity is in the second level connections. This means you have mutual connections and they're going to see that when you go to connect with them, right? We found that this actually increases your connection acceptance rate by over 20%. If you have ever worked with a big companies before, you can leverage past colleagues who again are a lot warmer. You can leverage your shared experience in your outreach messages to then break the ice. In our current like update filter, we have a couple of beauties in here. If they have changed jobs in the last 90 days, but have been at the same company, that typically indicates a promotion. Now again, this can be leveraged in your outreach as well. Something as simple as congrats on the promotion can go a long way to actually starting the conversation. Now, I almost always toggle has posted on LinkedIn. This actually means in the last 30 days. First, it shows they are active, but also one of the easiest ways to slide in the DMs is referencing their recent post content. That could be a compliment, question, or alternative viewpoint. These are really effective way of initiating the conversation. Now, this is where it gets gets really interesting. The workflow filters are going to allow us to use Sales Nav as effectively as possible. So we spend the least time prospecting and the most time on strategical thinking. To avoid having to repeat my role filter each time, I can create a persona. In the top right hand side, I just click personas, create a new persona, and then add my arrow filter, give it a name, and just hit save. Now I can apply that same persona every time I create a new list to save me having to do it every single time. The account lists are an absolute superpower. We're gonna talk about it a little bit later on. For now, when you build list, you can save the accounts to a lead list and then either include or exclude that list in the future. A good use of case for this would be you have a list of people that you have already reached out to in the past. Maybe the timing wasn't quite right then, but you may want to reach out to them in the future. I can also include or exclude anyone's profile I have visited or message leads already to make sure I'm not targeting the same contacts twice. So now I have a great basis for my list, but there's a few little tricks I can use to make it even more focused, right? Keywords. We can use keywords to identify specific words and phrases on a profile to either include or exclude. There are three types of Boolean search on LinkedIn: and, or, and not. But it's not as complicated as it sounds. Let me explain. If I want someone to have multiple keywords at once, I can just use and searches. For example, if I want them to be the CEO and the owner and be in the real estate, I can just type in CEO and owner and real estate. If I don't need them to be all of those at once and I just want to capture say commercial and residential real estate folks, I can just type in commercial or real estate and it's going to return people with either one of those. The most powerful of these keyword types is not filters. I can use these to exclude keywords. In this case, let's say I want real estate brokers but not real estate investors. I could type not investors, and you can also stack this and add multiple exclusions. One of the best hidden tactics on sales to build a razor sharp list is to go through the list and then use keyword exclusion to remove like unqualified leads, right? Let's say Sarah is an investor, for example. I can then add investor as a keyword to remove Sarah and everyone else in the investor in their profile, right? I can repeat this process until my list is laser focused. To do really complex searches, you can combine these terms using parentheses. For example, to find people who have VP in their profile or exclude assistants to the VP or SVPs, you can just type VP not and then in brackets assistant or SVP, right? So that is literally everything I know and everything you need to know about the lead filters. Let's get stuck into the account filters. So this is where I can view companies. You might be thinking, well, that's pretty useless given that I can't actually reach out to companies. Well, what we can do is we can take this list of companies and then apply it to the lead filters to get the decision makers from these companies. We'll get into exactly how to do that in a second. For now, we have all these great filters that we didn't have on the lead side. We can filter by annual revenue and headcount growth to see how much that team has grown, right? I can even add the number of followers, which is going to give me a pretty good idea of how important LinkedIn is to them. Development of headcount growth is a fantastic indicator as well. For example, if their sales team has grown a lot recently, they're going to be a lot more receptive to a technology that helps them track the performance of their reps. Technology is another great one. For example, if I run an ad agency, it would be useful for me to know if they have Google Ads in their tech stack. Same goes for it if I am a workflow website agency. It would be useful to know if they are using WordPress, for example, right? I can also select hiring on LinkedIn. Again, this shows they are growing, particularly useful for recruiters, growth partners, and really almost anyone else. So then, how do I actually get the individuals of this company so I can reach out to them? You just select the relevant companies over here and select add to an account list. You can only add 25 at a time, but it will take you a few minutes to have a list of a few hundred companies, right? Then I'll go back to my lead filters and include my new account list. Then I can determine who I want to reach out to from that list. For example, if I want the CEOs of the companies, I can just add CEOs and that's going to apply that to all of these companies on my account list. Okay, so now I have a list of about 3,000 decision makers in my ICP. For sending them connection request and manually reaching out to every single one of them is going to take a long time, and that's time that could be spent on content strategy, building relationships or really anything else that actually moves the needle instead of scrolling through profiles, sending connection requests, making it impossible to track success and constantly like forgetting to send follow-ups, right? But I do need to reach out to these people to make sales and grow my business. So how do you do that while also focusing on all these other really important things? Well, that's where AI comes in and that's where automation comes in. I had to say that, but if you don't use AI, your business is gonna die. Simple as that. AI gives us so many leverage now. Like literally a 25-year-old guy could have worked and so better better results than a 45-year seasonal expert, right? I use Pros to automate LinkedIn because I like it. I'm not sponsored by them. I know the founder, but I'm not sponsored by them. It's just what I use, to be honest. It's one of the best LinkedIn automation tool on the market right now, and essentially it allows you to put your entire outreach completely on autopilot. All you have to do is take the URL from your sales snapshots, copy it into the prospect, and import. This is going to take every single lead from that list, and then this is where it gets really wild, right? Once I have imported my contact, I can build a fully automated outreach sequence. I can send them a connection request, wait for them to reply, and then send them personalized messages, etc. Right? I can even use AI to complement their more recent post, and this is a fantastic way to start the conversation. I can even send them personalized voice notes using the AI voice cloner, and this is what's actually going to like allow me to turn these contacts in Sales Navigator into conversations, and then ultimately into book sales calls on my calendar. Right? This is going to work through that entire list completely for you. All you need to do is watch the replies come flooding in into your inbox, and if you want to watch the full tutorial on LinkedIn outbound, I have a full video about that on my channel as well. I'm prospecting to lead generation A to Z step by step. You can just check it out on my channel. Also, if you want like 14 days free trial on Pros, you can use the link in the description below, or just send me a DM on Instagram, right? And at last, at clientacquisition.in, we help B2B SaaS IT companies build predictable pipeline using our omnichannel outbound system that combines LinkedIn outreach, cold email, and AI-powered follow-ups. And we get average 15 to 30 calls every single campaign I send. So book a strategy call below if you want help acquiring more clients constantly.